when we invest in startups that are solving real problems.
Start as an angel and then probably build a fund. What will you advise?
There was a gap. Entrepreneurs needed 2 crores. VCs were at that time investing more like 35, 40 crores. You have to first take a call what you want to do and then have a reason why you want to. Which is solving a real problem. We always think that this is the best thing after sliced bread because otherwise you should not put in money.
You invested in us, right? Almost 8-9 years back. Why did you invest in us?
So, honestly, I think what are we trying to do? It's more important to understand what we are looking for and what we are trying to do, right? We are trying to basically invest, support, help, mentor, whatever nice words you want. So, basically, invest money and invest non financial resources in innovative solutions that are solving real problems, right? And 8-9 years, the world was a very different place, right? It was surely not a place where you had Airbnbs. Yet we had our children who were going overseas, who were studying there, doing well. And this was a need to develop Indian talent by learning from probably the mecca of innovation, knowledge, research, be it in US, be it in UK, be it in other parts of the world. So it was a real need which would have solved a real problem in this country, that we have better developed minds coming back or even developing for India, right? And that trajectory has proven to work, as we know that Indian minds have helped to build solutions irrespective of where they are based. And we have sort of moved. So I think it was really looking for an innovative solution, which is solving a real problem, yet has a strong business model to say that is it going to be able to earn and build profits, build value, right? It's not a kind of a business that is going to just be a very boutique business. It has a large market. And I must say that the founder, which is in this case you, we saw the ability to not only understand the market, understand the customer need, understand the what needs to get done, but also the ability to lead, right? Because ability to lead is not just to scale, but ability to lead is also when the chips are down, right? It is that which is important. So I think when you put those 4 or 5 points together, I think that is what we saw in UL when we did invest.
Are you happy?
I'm always happy for any entrepreneur who grows, because the belief is that any country, and India specifically, needs many more startups. It has a history where India was contributing about 25% of world GDP about 200 plus years ago. We went down to less than 2%. There's absolutely no reason why we can't get back to that or more. So for me, I think the only reason I'm doing what I'm doing is, yes, am I enjoying it? Yes, personally. But I'm also doing something which I believe will move the country forward in a very, very, very small way. Not
That you've been humble, and I'll talk about you. You know what you've been doing for last 25 years, or even more.
20 years.
You've been in investment into 20 years. 20, and you were one of the first women-led or women. I was reading somewhere that you were the first Indian lady in investing.
I believe so, but more importantly, I don't think gender is important.
Totally
I think
agree.
what is important is we brought in the concept of angel investing to the country. I think that's more important.
In today's world, so I call myself global citizen. I'm very Indian, but whatever little we're able to do, I believe that because of the access we got, whether I got a opportunity to do exchange program in Nottingham, whether I got into business wherein it helped me travel, meet with the people which I never thought I'll meet, and due to which my aspiration, I evolve, my mind, broaden, right? So I tell everyone, that whether you study abroad or you study in India, travel, मूव आउट योर होम प्लेस, अपने कंफर्ट से बाहर आप पुश करके ट्रैवल कर सकते हो फॉर वर्क, और टू डिस्कवर योरसेल्फ, राइट? So that's probably one of the few of the reason I probably become whatever little from where I'm coming. Used to stammer, mirror, and whatever. But so I firmly believe I'm Indian, but global citizen. What you've been talking lots about Indianness, India GDP. Is it again because your theme is raising funds from India? That's why you talking India, or you actually been like you see yourself as a global citizen or as an Indian?
It's an interesting question. I'm not an Indian, first of all.
You're not an Indian?
No.
Oh wow.
So,
Oh, great.
so I don't know how to answer that. But I think what I do is derived from what I enjoy, what I do. Okay, I think that's very, very
Where you
important.
found? Ruparel is
So
like
it's a story which we'll come to later,
okay.
offline. But
Okay.
it's not important for this. But I think for me, it is that I must do what I enjoy doing, and I must not do what I don't enjoy. Period. If I don't like something, I will not make a success of it. And if I love something, even if everybody tells me it's not going to work, I will make it successful, and I've done that.
Are you a Leo?
No,
Without telling your age,
I'm
what
a
are you?
Taurian.
Taurian.
Yeah,
So very strong.
yeah.
And it's important, it can be either way. I'm happy that you've been always being our side of story, otherwise it would always be hard to when I met you first time, and if I confess, I was like इन्हें तो नहीं क्रैक कर पाएंगे, इनसे तो ये तो बात ही नहीं करते. You come as a very strong, very like health strong woman. Is it because you're in the business of investment, wherein there are so much of founders and people who try to like
Yeah.
paint a story which might be not be true, or is it you?
No, I think I have been very, very lucky. I have a lot of very intelligent, wise people who've been around me, right? And I take a back seat because I want to hear what everybody says. But because it's very, very important to hear different perspectives before you form your own, because otherwise you're becoming judgmental without understanding a lot of things, right? So to me, I keep quiet, and I know that is something that very many people have told me. But when I have got enough data, enough thinking, and feel that this is what my view is, then I don't hesitate to say it. And if I'm in a position where I have to take a decision, then it will be a rounded decision, but there will be a decision. That's how I view it.
And it's very important for any leader.
I don't know, but it's very important for me because you can have a right decision, you can have a wrong decision. In our business, when we invest in startups, we always think that this is the best thing after sliced bread, because otherwise you should not put in money, right? But the reality is many fail, and the ones you think you're really going to succeed may be the biggest failures. It's happened. But so you have to take a decision, right or wrong,
Irrespective.
is something which is going to come in the future. I think the worst is not to take a decision. I
Agree.
think that sort of kills everything. That's my view.
Amazing. There's so many questions, and I'm conscious of your time, but you talk about angel investment. So how you got into angel investment, and that too when like मुझे तो अभी भी angel मैं कहता हूँ angel नाम कहाँ से आया हुआ है, and then of course I've been blessed to have like so many of you who've been actually been angel. I'm not even flattering, because when we started there was nothing, right? But how did you start, and how?
No, so I think there's a story of, incidentally, angel investing is more from,
US.
there is a controversy there that the Brits think it was born during Shakespeare, and the Americans think that it was born when they were doing New York plays. So I don't know what the reality is, but basically these were angels were ladies of leisure who sort of wanted to entertain themselves with plays and theater and stuff like that, and they were sort of putting in money to say, okay, we'll put in the money, you go and do it, right? Shakespeare never did have any money for that matter. So it's come from there. But having said that, I think it's a global it is a global asset class that many people have built. You have full-time angels in many parts of the world. I think in India was a different story. I did Thai, brought Thai with Mr. Srivastav, Saurabh Srivastav, way back in 2000. That was my first dip into entrepreneurship, apart from the fact that I used to run a small business many years ago. And then set up IVCA, which is the Indian Venture Capital Association. But, there was a gap. Entrepreneurs needed 2 crores VCs were at that time investing more like 35, 40 crores. So, how does an entrepreneur really get to a stage where it can consume 40 crores? And how do VCs ever get deal flow? Right. So we realized that there was a gap there, and we started putting a small group to say, okay, we have these 10 deals, let's pick these five, and we'll put some money, and everybody puts in all the four or five deals so that it's risk mitigated, right? And that was when we started to learn that this is called angel investing, right? Then there was this whole thing. The other co-founders of IN, of course, were doing their own stuff, uh, and Google was already active by then. So one sort of research to see that this model does exist, but it was a very clubby model. So people would sit around at dinner and drinks, and two, three entrepreneurs would pitch, and people would just put up their hands and say, "Yes, I'll put in money." I think I was too young to be running a club. So I wanted to create something more institutional, more professional, more structured. That's how IN was born, which is really a institutional way of angel investing. People from around the world could invest, entrepreneurs from around the world could raise money. And that's how we actually invested in 7, 8 countries beyond India. We have investors from 12, 13 countries. We launched the British chapter from number 10. We launched the Israeli chapter. So we did all that. Today, we're not active overseas because of regulatory constraints, which is something which needs to be solved. But that's how you built a credible, transparent, well governed kind of a platform. And that not only gave a lot of confidence to investors, but I think high quality entrepreneurs like yourself sort of felt comfortable to take money, which was not only adequate, but was not debatable money, if I may say that. So I think that's what got us. Yeah, early days when I was building it, I was the only one who was walking the streets. I still remember somebody who was half a billion worth. I was sort of inviting him to join the network, and his question to me is, ये एंजल इन्वेस्टिंग में इन्वेस्टिंग तो मुझे समझ में आता है क्या बोल रही हो कि तुम शायद यू मे गिव मी रिटर्न्स, बट ये रिलीजन वाला पार्ट क्या है एंजल का, ये तो क्रिश्चियनिटी का. So it was so nascent even for people at that kind of wealth, right? Which basically told me that there's a huge gap and there's a zero understanding. So we were doing a lot of other things with it.
So it just happened.
It just happened.
It just
It's just an accident.
But you were more interested in Thai, and that Thai.
I was actually no. When I brought Thai, I was a head of corporate communications, CSR, and other things in a multinational, and that was 9 to 5 job. But from 5 to 9, I was doing Thai and IBC.
Where this entrepreneurship mindset, or if you want to share your journey or your childhood. See, I know you very you've been invested in me in nine years, right? Got a very brief time of you, but whenever I got your time, you always come across someone who is, as I mentioned, very strong headed but very strong. How did you like? You were always like this when you were in your school or in your college, or
Yeah. I think I was somebody whom nobody could control. That
so
was
where this coming from?
I am.
And
no
where you
idea.
from? Where you from?
I'm from Gujarat, but I don't hold an Indian citizenship. That's what I meant.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I
You studied abroad?
no.
Yeah, you were saying something.
No. I was brought up in Calcutta, studied there, brought up there. My father was a doctor, who was a least of the business instincts. But we had some family estate, small piece, which I built 5 commercial multi-story buildings. So by the end of it, I had built up about 2.5 lakh commercial space, and then got married, packaged it so my parents could manage it, because you move, and I had some headstrong ideas of not taking money from my parents. So, and rebuilt life from here. Worked for a media house, worked when Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated, got locked. Yeah. All those things happened. And then joined Mr. Srivastava in his startup. So we really saw something from a startup to getting listed, delisted, acquired, listed again. So all of that I saw. And I kept doing everything, even in Mr. Srivastava's company, other than coding, which I never learned. I never want to.
And now you don't need to. There are lots of AI
I
tools to
just
do it.
don't like that, sitting
Yeah.
in front of a screen. So my journey has always been, I've been very fortunate. I had one boss. I had multiple companies, multiple jobs, multiple roles. But the last 33, 34 years, it's been the same. I only report to him. I only listen to him to whatever extent.
So it's like a mentor to you.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
How
it's
how important is to have a mentor?
it's extremely important. I think to have a good mentor is a stroke of luck.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and because you don't know
Yeah. Yeah.
who you're going to encounter in life, right? Every step is a new step. But I think a mentor is absolutely necessary, because that mentor can be anybody. It can be your parents, it can be your boss, it can be even a third party, it can be your spouse. It doesn't matter. But that person is actually able to uh, guide you without telling you to go down that road, right? That person is not directing you. That person is helping
Enabling
you,
you or
yeah, helping you to figure out how you arrive at your decisions. That's important, right?
is it? Do you think people can have multiple mentors?
Yeah, why not?
Because I believe so that like so I've been very fortunate to have a internal mentor. I follow Buddhism, so that's my internal mentor. But then I have mentor for in my startup. I have a mentor for my health. I have a mentor for few other things because I believe I mean I might be good at something but that doesn't mean that I can seek advice for anything everything
Yeah, but
from
I
them.
think a mentor and an advisor are very different. They're not the same.
So I
You can be mentored to go to an advisor, but you cannot be advised to go to a mentor.
go deep.
So somebody, I need, let's say, advice on health. I'm just taking a
Yeah.
simple one. My mentor can tell me that you need help on your health. I think you should go and take some advice. So you can go to an advisor. But if I go to a health advisor, not necessarily a doctor, he's not going to tell me you need a mentor. Or he has no idea. Right? So advisors and mentors are very different.
You have someone who been have a mentor for so long and you've been thriving, right? I have one mentor who's my startup mentor, as well as like when you speak, you also learn a lot about how he conduct himself, anything, but whether personal or so I go to him, and at the same time I realize that like if I want to talk about spirituality, if I don't want to learn about health, probably I need someone who is very deep in that domain, right? And again, fortunate, and I'm someone who seek, I'm like I don't mind seeking advice or I don't mind seeking suggestions. I won't say that I'm strong headed like you, but equally decently strong headed to listen to everyone but take my own decisions. And I believe that no decision is right or wrong. You take a decision and then you try to make it happen. If it doesn't happen, probably there's some lack or whatever. Very interesting. Tell me more about yourself. I'm very intrigued about your personality, and also so as we are not doing formally, so I go generally, so we you were asking the why we are doing podcasts, right? So when I started, again a luck factor, from Meerut to Delhi, did my undergrad, went got an exchange program, went to Nottingham, didn't get my housing. My ex was Twitter handle is Mr. Accident, the CEO. Never thought I'd raise funds. I started first company where it was a category creator. You raise funds with institutional money. Best like we were Sunicon in 2011, 12 in my first, right? I was kicked out. You know that story. Started again. I thought bootstrap bana hua, पैसा raise नहीं करूँगा. Then we reach a level where we're like, okay, we need to go faster, and probably it's a VC model, and there's a huge time, and then that happened. But never been like I never thought that I will be a founder or an entrepreneur. Never thought that I'll do a podcast. I used to stammer, right? तो चलाता था मैं. अभी भी मेरे एक दो word है, right? So I am a factor byproduct. But you seems you have very thoughtfully constructed your life,
No,
or no?
not at all. I have not. thoughtfully constructed my life. Not at all.
You believe in a thesis of like whatever you plan, you don't achieve, and you just go with the flow.
No, I think I have grabbed opportunities, and I have been. I've been very. I've really thought about how I will, if I do something, how will I? I think the other thing is I know what I will not. I'm very clear on
Very
that.
important.
Yeah.
Very important.
So I come from a Gujarati family. Wealth is an extremely important thing. Business is a very important thing, right? And in my era, if I may say that, the norm was arranged marriages.
Oh.
Right?
Oh.
So what was evaluated? The evaluation used to be उसके पास कितने पैसे हैं, क्या करता है. He's looks okay. I mean, doesn't have to be Shah Rukh Khan, but he's presentable and educated. Those are the 3-4 things. That's about it, right? And I did have a say. I don't want to get married into a rich family. Now that was anathema in our day and age, right?
Yeah.
So I was very clear that I don't want to live with somebody who has family money or whose father has earned the money, because you'll never be able to lift your head, right? Because there are giveaways in that, which I was not ready to do. It went against the whole family, right? But I ensured that I didn't want to find somebody myself. But I didn't have the time. So, but I did want a tall guy because I still like my heels at that time. So the two matched. So my parents found the boy, and I could still wear my stilettos.
And it beautifully worked.
It worked, yeah. It's working very well.
I would say you also, people say it worked. I mean, you guys must have made it work, because
I think, marriage is something you have to be convinced about. Two things. You have to be convinced that you do want to make it work. And the other is to come with no hard and fast rules.
Right.
That is very important. I mean, a lot of us have either married, or we're working with co-founders, or we're working with key team members, or you're working with whatever. I mean, am I perfect? 1000% no. Is my co-founder perfect? No.
You mean your husband is co-founder? No, okay.
Anybody.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you spend more time at work than you spend at home, right? I think you have to have some flexibility. I mean, if you're saying I'm going to be a strong-headed person and going to ram my decisions through, it doesn't work.
It wouldn't work.
But if you have to ram your decisions through, you better be convinced about it, and you better make sure it works. I think those are the important things.
Interesting.
So in IAN, our board is a co-founder board. And in 2009, we had Economic Times approach us to say we'll do the power of ideas.
We are a product of that.
Please believe me, IAN board unanimously rejected it, that we will not do. I went back to ET and I stayed in the office for 3 months, literally working on everything, how we'll do it, what we'll do, what will be IANs. Uska contract I have written between ET and us. Yeah. And we ran it, right? We had 37,000 business plans coming in at 31 days. 50 you shortlisted, mentored, top 50. Many of them are today entrepreneurs, including yourself. And they had zero changes in the contract agreement or on the plan. The only thing is, how will you handle it? And we had an operational plan. And our total spend, cash out, for that entire program, which ran for 6 months, was 3 lakhs.
So probably you're talking about the Power Idea 1.
Yeah.
I'm a part of Power Idea 2. When I guess it was being...
and CII.
Yes.
Yeah. This was the first one.
Yeah. So I didn't know. And I'm like, if I had known, I would have not waited for 3 years to get funded.
No. So that's how Power of Ideas was born.
Amazing. And I mean, it's changed our life, our course of startup.
So I look at it slightly differently for myself. And I'm saying that because you asked me this question twice over on global citizen or local citizen. I honestly think there are 2 perspectives which is important for me to achieve. Today, I'm not global or Indian. I'm a local, right? I'm a local person who feels comfortable to go anywhere globally, right? And be able to have a sensible conversation with people of other nationalities in other countries. I think my aspiration would be very simple, that I have a passport, and I'm using passport more as a metaphor rather than a booklet,
Yes.
which never gets rejected in any country, right?
Mm.
So to me, that is where I think I would, because that would mean that I have built something
Mm.
which somebody in any conversation values, right? So I think that acceptance is what is, it's a kind of a metaphor of acceptance, right? um, Whether I do funds, whether, I mean, I am at an age where uh, this probably this is this fundraise and this fund I am sort of leading, but do I want to do the next one? Not one. It's a lot of hard work, in that sense. So whatever else I do in life, I think one needs to be viewed as a person which is of integrity, of value, of something that can add rather
Mm.
than distract. I think to me that is it. And if one can help, great. If one can't, at least you're not doing anything negative.
You mentioned rejection. Is rejection drives you? Is it something like if someone say or try to prove you wrong or probably try to challenge you? If I put that, you go extra hard, you go more
I
deeper.
am very, I don't.
No.
I take it on board to say, is there anything I need to take from you? Otherwise, it's okay. People have their views.
So someone like you, who I can say that probably can guide. You have a very strong. You've been named in W Power and lots of magazine, Fortune, and whatnot. If let's say Shweta wants to get into investments, and that too as a woman, get into investment or want to start as an angel, you know and then probably build a fund, what will you advise young
If
you or
that's what you want to do, do it.
but how is there any playbook, is there any pathways?
There's never a playbook in life here.
But if
My life's playbook, her life's playbook, your life's playbook, his life's playbook is all different.
okay, I'll put it a different way. Let's say I want to launch.
If there were playbooks, right, you could only have finite number of playbooks that you would play with, right?
So
In life,
let me put
in
this
one life, you have multiple playbooks.
agree. Let me put it in different. Let's say I want to start my private syndication and the angel and want to launch a fund. How should traditionally people go about it?
Research, talk to people, get your understand regulations, get yourself sorted. But I'm saying you have to first take a call what you want to do, and then have a reason why you want to, right? Once you've done that, believe me, the world opens up. And have belief in yourself, have belief in the Lord. Because
You're not sharing your trade secrets or your
no, I learned like that. I didn't know what a hurdle rate was.
But
I
now
didn't
see,
know.
let's say you are there, Shanti is there, Vani is there, right? So they are, let's say, if let's say, tomorrow my daughter, comes and say, Dad, I want to start a angel fund or start an angel network, and then probably build a fund. What do you advise to her?
See, again, I'm going back. I think it's not trade secrets. Let me put that on the table. I think it. My advice to that person would be very clear. You want to do this. To do this, make sure you've understood what are the upsides, but please understand what's the downsides.
What is downside?
Downsides is 24/7 working, right? Do you want to do that? Right? Do you want to be carrying stress all the time? I mean, if you're investing someone else's money, there's a huge responsibility if
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
Be clear that your investments will fail. It's a very humbling. Be clear if you want to raise funds, you will be going around with the
Yeah,
asking
yeah,
people for money.
answerable
Yeah.
and very,
Not
very,
only that, but you have to go ask, and
yeah.
10 out of 10 people may say no, right? So I think first you have to be very clear about that. Then understand the technicalities and the regulations and how you're going to do it and why are you the best person in the world to do this. What are you bringing to the table? Nobody is going to give you money purely because you are you, right?
Okay.
So you have to really, if you've not done this in life, why your daughter, anybody who's also got some years of experience, if you've not done this in life, you better learn from ground up.
So this is what I was trying to understand. Ask that if someone is watching this, and there are lots of students who are 14, and there are lots of students they are like they just finished their undergrad, they want to looking for careers. There are parents who want to see whether investing is a good career or a life, pursue for them. That's what I was trying to understand, that if someone who's young, who's watching and want to make a mark for themselves into investment fraternity, how should that life looks like and
I
how
think
they
the
start?
one good thing would be to research good leaders who've been investors, right? How have they achieved that? Have they got into investing from day one?
Hmm.
Or have they actually invested time doing other things, either building businesses, building P&Ls? You can't just say that I'm an investor from,
Day one, yeah.
and post that. You have to bring something to the table, even if you want to join a team,
Hmm.
right? Otherwise, it's a long haul. Let's be honest.
Right. When you are raising funds, you also raise from LP, and for our audience, and for myself also. So there are angel network, then there are there are AIF funds, then there is VCs, and there is PE, right? What is LP? What is, like, if you want
Yeah.
to
Okay. So LP is basically a lead partner. Okay. These are all terms coming in from the US ecosystem. A GP is a general partner. LP is primarily people who invest in funds. GP are those who are raising funds, may put in some of their own money, but are running the fund,
Hmm.
right? So GPs have to go and raise money from LPs, right? You have various types of LPs. You have institutional LPs, you have government fund of funds, you have non-government fund of funds, you have HNIs, you have family offices, etc. Right? So there could be different categories, different. They'll have different processes of committing money. They'll have different kind of amount, size of investment check that they'll come in with. So yes, it's a combination of that. They obviously will look at two or three reasons, right? What's the track record? Who are the people? What is their personal history? What's your credibility? Why are you the best persons doing what you're proposing to do? Do they have investment opportunities? Do they have the ability to get exits? How much time are they going to put in? They expect full time, right? If I say I'm a biotech and I'm not a doctor in biotech, then why are
Hmm.
they saying this?
Hmm.
How will they access domain expertise? How will they create value, right? Do they understand what they're saying? Do they have an ecosystem around them? Like we have a huge ecosystem
Hmm.
around
Hmm.
us, right? We are not two or three or four partners standing in splendid isolation. We
Hmm.
have an IC with people like Ajay Chaudhary, Raman Roy, Saurabh Srivastav, Praveen Rao, who's the ex CEO of Infosys, right? We have an advisory board which is engaged. We have Chris Gopalakrishnan, Sunil Manjal, Romesh Sopti, founder of IndusInd, CP Gurnani, Tech Mahindra. We have Jyoti uh, Sagar, who's of
Yeah.
founder of
Our captable
GIC.
also. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are all people who bring not only a lot of wealth of experience, but a lot of wisdom and global networks which help, right? So, and then we have this 500 angel investor group which we can access. We've invested in 240 companies. We've across sectors.
Two 40.
Yeah.
I researched, I don't know, I around 50 plus startups. So probably that's from fund.
No. First fund was 72 companies.
Hmm.
This fund we've already done 8. So uh, overall we've done 240. We are growing. Um, where are those companies?
So you are one of the largest angel as well as fund by
Around the world.
size of portfolio
Around the world.
around the world.
I'm in fact
Wow.
co-chair of the Global Business Angel Network. I'm trying to see if we can bring it to India in some ways. So the thinking is that how are they going to do it? How are they? We are unlocking non-dilutive funding for our companies, debt, grants. We got one company, we got 100 crore grant from a global play. So I think these are the things. What have you done? What are you going to be able to do? Why are you the best guys to do this? Right? Do you have the right opportunities? Right? Are you a B2B? Are you a B2C? It's a risk asset. For how are you going to mitigate the risk? Right? How are you monitoring? Compliance is a big issue today, which it should be forever.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
we've had no compliance issues. which is a very big statement
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
We've only invested in two types of companies, either top line, bottom line, which means dhanda without munafa doesn't make sense to us, right? And yes, we've taken bets like only in companies where there is an IP portfolio, which means revenues will come maybe once we are out, but they're building value in their IP. We've not taken market share models. The top line grows and nobody knows where the bottom line is going. We've not done that. We just don't understand it. Nothing else, right? So you're clear what you have to be very clear of what you're doing. We've always looked at next best of the next. Doing the same doesn't make too much sense. Are we solving real life problems?
Yeah, that's
What are
true.
we?
Yeah,
Those are important to us. Have we chosen the right founders?
How you choose the founders? Or
That comes with a lot of this experience and wisdom. Apart from saying, "Ha, he's done this or she's done this," she understands this sector, she's done this in the past. But it's beyond that. Leadership qualities is important. Does he or she know what he doesn't know? See, it's very important to know what you know, but it's even more important
What
to
we
know
don't know.
what you don't know, right? Because that is what you will need to plug in your management team, right? Or in other ways, correct? Resilience is another piece, right? Is it an entrepreneur who's mentorable, which could well mean that saying yes to everything we suggest, or is there a discussion and one convinces the other, right? Is there a lot of judgmental thinking, right? So there are lots of pieces. How does the co-founders work together? There's a lot of observation, I think, and it's not necessary that we get it all. But if you have a group of people who've been there, done that, who've created billion-dollar companies which are part of India's history, right? Then we are able to bring that wisdom. See, getting names on a deck or a document is easy, but getting those minds engaged is what we have managed to do.
right.
And that's much more difficult. So I think that's the kind of piece that we think we are being able to do. And that's the kind of piece which ultimately creates value.
Last part, and this is like a fun part, and I always see you like, whenever you're around, like, अगर मैं आपके साथ होता हूँ ना, मैं आता हूँ, मैं टाई नहीं भी होती, मैं टाई पहन लेता हूँ, ये टाई पहन दो भाई, the rapid round, the pitch that still plays in your head even though you pass.
I'm going to build world's next hotel chain.
Oh, Oyo. Most underrated use of capital in a startup early days. Most underrated use of capital in a startup early days.
What does underrated mean?
Basically, they have put more focus on marketing, or probably more on product, or probably like team, or
So which is the
most underrated use of funds in
actually travel and staff welfare.
It's a deep. I'll ask you off. One founder you would again work in a heartbeat.
Sagar.
Very nice guy. I mean, the fact that for Momos,
I have two guys actually, Sagar and Sanjay. Sagar of and Sanjay Nekanti of Dhruva Space.
Yeah, they've been doing well. You've been doing well. A book or quote that stayed with you for years.
Hard work kill no one, and I won't be the first.
Good man. What's the one thing always check in the term sheet before signing? What's the one thing you always check, or one should always check before signing a term sheet?
Numbers.
One thing. I mean, there are lots of numbers on term sheet. I can share. I have.
No, term sheet में क्या एक ही number आता है? Value.
Preference होता है.
हाँ? No, numbers एक ही होता है term sheet में. Amount of investment and valuation, right? So I may say I'm going to put in 10 crores for 100 crore valuation, but the term sheet can go wrong, right? By saying 10 crores for 120 crores valuation.
Okay.
Because all the other terms are going to get anyway relooked at in the shareholders agreement.
Okay, fair bit. Success to you in one sentence.
Being happy.
Being happy. Totally. And so good to see you happy. And thank you so much for coming over.